Today, the IGP warns against...
After the police PRO wrote on his verified X handle saying that insulting anyone on social media can be termed as cyberbullying and that the person can be tried under the cybercrimes law. Of course, you can see under the tweet, it was community noted. The person that noted it actually called him ignorant, which is correct, because how can a police officer enforce a law that no longer exists? Because this law was amended by the National Assembly. If a police officer doesn't understand the law, what is he enforcing? How can you be a law enforcement officer and you don't know the law? You don't understand the law that exists, the ones that are criminal, the ones that are civil. This explains why they always intimidate Nigerians, always arresting people that are expressing their freedom of speech. Like this lady, Abiodun Thomas, who was arrested recently, flown all the way from Lagos to Abuja, not to talk of the fact that they arrested her Facebook friend, arrested her mother and family relatives until she showed up in the police station from where she was flown to Abuja. Now they have arrested this DJ for saying this.
Inspector General say they abuse any political official, make they jail the person. Yes, Tinubu na the one president with the president. You know go better for Tinubu ni balẹ̀. Next person. Sanwo-Olu na the Lagos State. Olodudu kò ní balẹ̀. Who is the next person? Tell me the politician who go arrest me fast. Ọkàn yóò ní balẹ̀. They dey spoil quality na no see anything do there na dey claim police. Ọkàn yóò ní balẹ̀. You no go better for the politician wey put Nigeria for this station. Ọkàn yóò ní balẹ̀. Ẹ má ṣòfò dání. Wetin dey all this nonsense talk like if they abuse ẹni kúre who na be Tinubu Jagaban ọkàn ní balẹ̀ ó má ṣòfò ní ẹ̀yin gbèrè.
Actually, this DJ was expressing himself. He was reacting to what the PRO said, that anyone that insults any politician or anyone on social media, that it means the person can be tried for cyberbullying. And after making this video, they tracked him down and arrested him, as you can see here.
I've been doing DJ.
When did you start doing DJ?
I started DJ.
Do you have your own musical instruments?
It's so shameful that they abuse their powers. They use their powers to intimidate and oppress Nigerians. Look at this guy, a terrorist, openly sharing money on social media, on TikTok. He's always there insulting the Nigerian military, insulting the state. He has been terrorizing the northwestern part of this country, but up till today, the police and all other security agencies have never used all their tracking devices, all technology in their possession. They've never used them to track this guy down, to pinpoint him and save the northwestern people. Yes, people are running away from their farms, people are running away from insecurity, people are trooping down the south from the northwest and the northeast in most parts where there are serious security challenges. They've never used all their equipment to track them down. And look at a Nigerian citizen expressing his frustration, expressing his disdain for politicians who have plunged Nigerians into absolute poverty. They have used that technology to intimidate and arrest him. What does that say of the people in power? Even Abacha didn't go this far. They are now turning this so-called democracy to full-blown dictatorship. All gloves are off. They are no longer hiding it. It started with criminalizing protests when people trooped out back in August during the End Bad Governance protest to protest the massive hunger in the land. They were intimidated, the police maimed a lot of people, arrested. Even these kids were kept in detention for more than 90 days. If it wasn't because of the backlash from Nigerians, they wouldn't have been released. So they criminalized protests. They are now shutting people up. They want people not to complain. You can't beat a child and still stop him from crying. It's not possible. They can't provide good governance to Nigerians. They still want Nigerians to endure all the hardship without uttering a word. Anyone that says anything, anyone that criticizes the government is tracked down immediately and arrested and intimidated. How can anyone in his right sense arrest someone for insulting somebody? It is not written in any Nigerian law that insults amount to criminal offense. Why should the police waste all the resources to track someone, arrest the person, and fly the person from Lagos to Abuja where the person didn't commit the offense? Like this lady who made a video in Lagos, why is the lady being tried in Abuja? Abuja has nothing to do with anything the lady said. They don't have jurisdiction. This is to take her very far away from family and friends. Logistically, it will be very difficult for them to be coming to Abuja anytime her case comes up in court. This is dictatorship 101. You can't provide good governance to people. You don't want them to complain about it. When they complain about it, you arrest and intimidate them and charge them to court. All the people participating in intimidating Nigerians pay their salaries, from the policemen to the courts and other judicial officers that are involved in this. But instead of serving the people that are paying them to serve them, they turn around and start using their powers to intimidate the people who employ them. This is ridiculous. This is exactly what Dele said in his book, Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System, which of course has put him in trouble. A civil matter, even if it truly defamed Are Afe Babalola, they've turned it into a criminal case, despite the fact that the law no longer exists in Ekiti State. So they are trying very hard. Are they trying to provoke Nigerians into a revolution?
Comrade, solidarity.
It's becoming very frustrating. A young man is frustrated because of the hardship in the land, and he talks about it on social media. He's expressing himself as is constitutionally guaranteed. He has every right to his freedom of speech, but they are now arresting him and intimidating him for merely speaking. When has freedom of speech become a crime in this country?
I do not even believe that the federal government in the first place has the power, that's the National Assembly, to enact the Cybercrimes Act. So, but the point I was going to make is, the way the federal system should work is that the center shares power with component units, and the legislative authority of the federal government in Nigeria is pursuant to the powers listed in the exclusive legislative list in the Constitution. Any power that is not listed in the exclusive legislative list in the Constitution does not inure in favor of the national government. On the other hand, there's the concurrent list where we have shared powers between the federal government and the state government. In certain instances, the powers of the federal government override the powers of the state government, and you will talk about the whole doctrine of covering the field and all that. But I'm saying this for a particular reason. The federal government does not have the authority to criminalize, for instance, rape, or to criminalize theft. There's no general authority of the federal government to enact legislations of crimes per se. So what you find is, when the federal government has an authority to make legislation, say, regarding firearms and ammunitions, and penalize them, it is pursuant to the powers of the federal government listed in the exclusive list to make legislations governing firearms and ammunitions. The same with drugs, marijuana, the same with poisons. But there is no general authority to make criminal legislations in favor of the federal government, whether it's from the exclusive list or the concurrent list. And I hope that somebody can prove me wrong. And I'm saying this because I do not believe, and that's why I said this Dele case is just going to open so many layers of structural flaws in our system. I do not even believe that the federal government in the first place has the power, that's the National Assembly, to enact the Cybercrimes Act. I'm saying that the Cybercrimes Act is illegal because there is no place in the 68 items, or maybe following the alterations in the 66 items in the exclusive list or the concurrent list, that you can pinpoint a power of the National Assembly to criminalize cybercrimes in the country. It's ordinarily law that should inure to the preserve, the exclusive preserve of the states, like theft, like rape, and the rest. Dele has said there's something unlawful, or there's some certain injustice that is going on with the structure of the justice system in the country. The way the system reacts to these very potent allegations is to now effect injustice on this same individual in a manner that the whole world can now watch and say, well, it looks like it's not just injustice, but it's flagrant injustice that doesn't even follow common sense.